It's going down for Bitcoin right now, because if you take a look at where we are just now pushing that final top barrier of the $45,000 resistance area. And guys, once that's done, I think that we could be seeing Bitcoin fly up. Now, it's been rallying up pretty much non-stop on the daily chart for quite a few days. If we actually measure this back, I mean, today's the 27th of March, and this rally kind of really initiated around here on the 22nd. So we're looking at like 5 days of, consecutive upward price action, and that, in my opinion, is unfortunately not sustainable. However, when we just take a look at the strength that we've been able to carry through, I'm not too worried about it. To me, this looks like the typical situation where we kind of first move up with a lot of strength and then we slowly lose that strength, maybe find a bit of a pullback, but then attempt a second try, at breaking the resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that we see right here. One of the things I was talking about in the previous video is that if Bitcoin just trades sideways from here, it's going to end up forming what's called a bull flag, where you end up moving up, trading sideways, basically consolidating before the next move continues on higher. And that builds that kind of classic staircase pattern that you guys hear me talking about as well on this YouTube channel. Also, you guys will have heard me talking about Ethereum, and I want to give you a big update on that, because the last time that I made a video just exclusively on Ethereum, I was talking to you guys about how I was expecting Ethereum to break up into this range, into the low 3000s, and ideally actually towards the mid 3000s. So I think that Ethereum could be headed there. Those of you who are subscribed will know all about that, so smash up the likes if you found that video useful. I am in a beautiful, ridiculously large profit right now on Ethereum, given that this rise has continued, and I have a lot to say about that. But for now, let's bring ourselves back to Bitcoin and talk about what's going on here, because the star of the show, in my opinion, is going to be this resistance area. I know that a lot of people now are finally starting to tag along with the excitement, or at least removing their bearish bias, right? And if we take a look at the fear and greed index, this is going to demonstrate some of that for us, where we are kind of now with some stability sitting around these neutral levels with the fear and greed index, indicating that, yeah, people are just not as bearish as they were before. That's not necessarily a good nor a bad thing. Obviously, I would prefer if we were, much more towards the downside, much more towards being fearful, because that just means we have more psychological space to run in this market. But the fact that we don't have it is totally fine. I'm not actually too worried about it. And the reason for that is, I mean, we're at a resistance area. And so, put it this way right now, ladies and gents, I mean, from the low that we set from the beginning of this month to where we are right now, Bitcoin's up by nearly 20%. And to see that people aren't actually bullish, they're just neutral, that is still showing me that people are still relatively scared. I'm seeing people with quite a lot of pride announcing that they're going short on this market right now. And look, this is a pretty good time to be going short, in my opinion, all things considered, right? I mean, if you wanted to take up a short position, one of the key things you'd be looking for is, are we at a resistance area? Yes, the fuck we are. Absolutely, we're at a resistance area. Do we have massive resistance from long-term time frames? Yes, we do. Look at this with the 𝗢𝗙𝗙𝗚𝗙𝗑𝗧. There's a lot going against crypto right now, especially after seeing this kind of rally. Because, guys, one thing that I want to remind you all about, and look, I'm in a long position, so I'm actually actively saying quite the opposite now, and this is what you need to be doing as a trader and analyst, right? Like, when you enter a position, your job is not to justify being in that position. Your job is to challenge being in that position, so that if it's time to leave, you could do so and take your profits off the table. This is one of the reasons that I've been able to maintain over the years such a good success rate inside of 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 VIP, which you can join by following these steps on screen, is because I'm very diligent about making sure that I take my profits even if the position ends up going badly. That kind of prevents me from losing money on trades that are otherwise not the best, right? I don't claim to be a spectacular world-class trader or anything like that, but one of the reasons I've been able to, over the years, make sure that I don't lose much money is just closing my profits when I see them, right? Very, very important thing, and you can only do that if you challenge your ideas. So here's the thing that I want to make very, very clear to you all in this video, is that, when the market is trending downwards and you start forming reaction rallies where the price manages to rally up by, some relatively significant amount, for example, from this low up to this high, that's a 37% move to the upside. I mean, you guys who are watching this YouTube channel will have known very, very well I was extremely bearish as we were approaching these levels. I absolutely was expecting the price to continue dropping down, and then again, just bearing in mind, we're still in, broadly speaking, the same kind of downtrend from this low to this high, looking at 31%. This low to this high, I didn't even make a video about, because it was pretty obvious that this was a fake out, up by 14%. Again, over here we're up by about 18-19%, but within what market situation, right? This is very, very important. We haven't broken that market structure yet. We're just on the edge of it, right? I do think that if Bitcoin does manage to break this 45K area, then we will break market structure. And at that point, I would expect that actually this thing could be ready to reverse the long-term downtrend right now. At the moment, I'm still not fully seeing it. The good news is that, this is kind of a gradual shift, right? It's not just like, okay, one thing happens and then bam, we're bullish again. Different indicators are going to tell you different things at different times. The daily EMA ribbon, for example, has just crossed bullish as of the last couple of days, and now we're seeing some really, really nice crossovers that could end up adding a little bit of support for Bitcoin if it ends up dropping down. This is to say that I might be able to expect these moving averages to stretch out in some fashion like this, and so if the price does drop down, I expect it to only drop down into nice support areas, which would be very, very nice indeed. Again, I just want to bring to your attention this 200-day EMA ribbon. It's not all sunshine and roses right now, but we're getting there. We're definitely making good progress. If we take a look at Ethereum, one of the key things I was saying in my Ethereum video, again, for those of you who are subscribed, you'll know all about it, is I was talking about how, generally when we form these kind of bullish engulfing candles, Ethereum has been able to rally when it forms bullish engulfing candles like this by about 20 to 40% higher, if not by a factor of 5 or 10 times higher. So look, I'm not saying that we're going to do the latter right now, although I do believe that is the long-term potential of Ethereum. Just short-term, which is what I'm interested in, an extra kind of 20% rally to the upside. First of all, that indicates we've only done about half of that, but kind of 20% to the upside is going to put us quite comfortably at around the mid $3,000 level. And again, I was very, very vocal about this, seeing this with Ethereum. Just a small move like this can actually result in a really nice profit. Those of you who are in 𝗪𝗪's VIP will remember when I was showing the information about this trade. It was actually, it was fairly straightforward, all things considered, for what I was aiming to do, which was simply that, we had this resistance line right here, this red downward sloping resistance line, and I saw that Ethereum managed to break out of it, and so I was expecting that if we do fall back down, I might be able to grab an entry and ride the price up. This isn't actually such a big percentage move, right? It's only about 11.6%, but again, when you dial something like that up with leverage, I used 8 times leverage here, so 11.6%, and this was literally my entry level. I actually entered down to the dollar at this yellow line right here, so it was a phenomenal entry. I told all VIP members about it, obviously, and I've continued to give them updates on this trade. So this is all going down inside of VIP. If you want to be able to see how I'm trading, get absolutely every single nuance that goes into my trading decisions and so on, just hear it all of it going on inside of my head, plus all the analysis provided by myself and my team that doesn't get to these YouTube channels and these free channels right here. Then follow these steps on screen and you can get yourself inside. But such a small move like this, you dial that up with a bit of leverage, it can turn into something very, very impressive. And that's why I got so hyped up about this, because when a lot of the time people are looking to, which coin can I buy that's at $2 now, which will be at $20 next week, kind of thing. And that's really hard to say. A lot of the time that's down to factors like manipulation, whether that's done by other YouTubers or, just influencers in the space, or, bad practices with, displaying false volume, for example. Like, a lot of that stuff is just not legit. That's just one side of it for why that's quite a worthless exercise, in my opinion. But a lot of it is also like, you just don't fucking know. Like, it's just luck. It's just, it's not really in your hands. And so when I see an opportunity like this, where, fuck, it's not a huge percentage move, 11%, 20%, these are not big deals. If you're able to leverage them up, the 20% move on 5x leverage will double your money. That's a plus 100% gain, right? And all of a sudden that starts looking a lot more attractive. And you're actually able to enter these things with a lot more precision than, your shitcoin or your NFT or whatever, because there's just less speculation going on here. You just kind of, you're analyzing charts, you're using the data that's in front of you, the numbers that don't lie, and so on. And to me, I don't know, I just feel like that's a better approach. And so if we bring ourselves back to the weekly time frame, I do think that there's quite a lot more room for this thing to rally. We have seen Ethereum leading the market so far. You can see this with Ethereum against Bitcoin. Just over these last 2 weeks, it's gained a little bit of strength against Bitcoin as well. And so I don't expect that to stop. I do believe that Ethereum may be able to continue to lead the market. And I mean, you got to consider that, you know, you see this horizontal level of resistance, right? This one right here, that's kind of from 2,900 to 3,000. That's not perfect, but this is pretty much the equivalent of Bitcoin's box, in my opinion. I suppose you could say that, you know, there's another box like around here. That would actually make a bit of sense to me. This is definitely a potential zone where Ethereum could be capturing a little bit of resistance. But look, for the most part, you know, when Bitcoin moves up by 5%, Ethereum might be moving up by 8 or 10%. You know, I mean, it could actually be a lot more aggressive. And so that's one of the reasons, by the way, that I strongly prefer to trade Ethereum. I just feel like it's a much better I feel like it's a much better option because the gains are potentially, pardon me, a lot higher. But anyway, moving us back to the price itself, like I said, I do feel like there's some more upside to go. I'm still kind of targeting the mid $3,000 range for Ethereum. There's not really much resistance up ahead anymore other than the Ichimoku cloud. I don't see any other indicators that are bearish. Again, we've still got that same EMA ribbon. This is the same as Bitcoin pretty much right now. But other than that, I mean, the only thing that is concerning me with these trends, especially with Ethereum's right now, is just that, I mean, you know, with Ethereum, it's a little bit more pronounced that, you know, kind of from the 15th, 14th of March up until today, which is 12 days later, we've kind of been nonstop rallying up, and that is not healthy, right? Something similar for Bitcoin. It's not as big of a deal with Bitcoin because we have had some mini pullbacks, but largely speaking, from the 14th of March, we haven't had a big correction, and now we're at the top of our resistance band. You know, with crypto, it doesn't necessarily need to be anything significant. I mean, this thing can just shoot up tomorrow anyway, right? But does that really make sense? Absolutely not. Does it matter if it makes sense? Absolutely not. Bit of a weird one there. It's hard to say, to be honest. If I gave you any sort of real direction there, I'd probably be misleading you. So unfortunately, I'm not going to do that. But that is what I'm seeing right here in this market today. So if you have enjoyed this video, then do me a favor and smash up the likes. If you want to get some free money and trade on the very same exchange that I'm using, where I've been able to pull this stellar profit on Ethereum, then follow the link in the description to Bybit, sign up using my link down below, make your first deposit, and you'll get some free cash deposited into your account, which you can trade with, and any profits you make, you can withdraw, you can do whatever you like with. So very cool stuff. And of course, if you want to be able to join VIP and find out exactly what's going on, these steps on screen right here will take you into a direct messaging app with me, literally me. If I'm not able to respond, my assistants will from my account anyway. So definitely take a look at this if you want to be able to watch me trading in real time, gain access to everything that we're offering. This is a crazy transformative package that we've been able to put together. It's changed a lot of traders, and if you want to be one of them, then follow these steps on screen right here. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.